Morning friends, happy Thursday, how are you doing? Hello magazine, we are going to fall out with you. Where's the proper journalism? The Princess of Wales performs the perfect curtsy 3 times. We do not care about a curtsy, an outdated bodily movement that gives the appearance of falling to your knees to honour someone that society deems to be more important than you are. Is that really appropriate in 2025 and 2026? We want these two to do a Harry and Meghan. We want them to use their unlimited time, resources, money, staff to actually achieve something they could put on their CV and force the world to talk about the problems that we have and address them. We want these two to help the world change for the better. A curtsy is not important in 2025 and 2026 when most families dread the flipping gas bill coming through the door. It's not a joke in the UK, believe me. And on that bombshell, comments are open as ever. Are you interested in a curtsy? Because I tell you what, most hardworking, time poor, financially poor, working families in the UK that pay tax to keep these scroungers alive are not interested in a curtsy. Comments are open. Let me know what you think. Morning friends, happy Thursday, how are you doing? Hello magazine, we are going to fall out with you. Where's the proper journalism? The Princess of Wales performs the perfect curtsy 3 times. We do not care about a curtsy, an outdated bodily movement that gives the appearance of falling to your knees to honour someone that society deems to be more important than you are. Is that really appropriate in 2025 and 2026? We want these two to do a Harry and Meghan. We want them to use their unlimited time, resources, money, staff to actually achieve something they could put on their CV and force the world to talk about the problems that we have and address them. We want these two to help the world change for the better. A curtsy is not important in 2025 and 2026 when most families dread the flipping gas bill coming through the door. It's not a joke in the UK, believe me. And on that bombshell, comments are open as ever. Are you interested in a curtsy? Because I tell you what, most hardworking, time poor, financially poor, working families in the UK that pay tax to keep these scroungers alive are not interested in a curtsy.
Well said, Martin Gould. Oh, Hello magazine, never missing a chance to remind us all that they're still trapped in 1953 with a feathered quill and a royal thesaurus. Their latest scoop? The Princess of Wales performs the perfect curtsy 3 times, as if she just solved climate change using interpretive dance. Come on, guys, it's 2025. Not the dress rehearsal for Bridget and Windsor edition. Let's get real. Who, in the middle of a cost-of-living crisis, actually gives 2 tufts of corgi fluff about how low Kate Middleton dips her knees at a banquet for foreign dignitaries? The only curtsy the average Brit is performing these days is bending over backwards to pay council tax and £9 for a pint of milk. And yet here we are, with the press treating Kate's knee bob like it's the moon landing in heels. Meanwhile, Prince William, fresh off another important visit where he awkwardly points at things while pretending to understand, still hasn't figured out that smiling next to a solar panel doesn't count as activism. The man has the energy of a decorative breadstick and the impact of 1 too. But the British media, oh, they're obsessed. They'll write 12 pages about Kate's earrings, the subtext of her curtsy, and whether her elbow angle signalled a subtle nod to 17th century court etiquette, all while ignoring the fact that most families can't afford to heat their homes or buy school uniforms without taking out a loan. But go off, Hello magazine. Tell us more about the graceful geometry of Kate's kneecaps. Here's a radical idea. Instead of clapping like trained seals every time Kate does a bob and bend in front of royalty, maybe the press should ask, what are they actually doing for the people they claim to represent? Spoiler alert, posing at charity events doesn't count if your PR team outnumbers the attendees. Harry and Meghan, on the other hand, now they understand the assignment. They left the royal bubble, told the truth, gasp, took the hits, and still managed to build a life focused on impact, not optics. Mental health advocacy, women's rights, racial equality, climate action. Not just photo ops, but actual work. Meghan isn't out here performing 3 curtsies. She's helping fund scholarships. Harry's not waving from balconies, he's building Invictus, speaking on trauma and walking the walk without a golden throne beneath him. The British media spent years slamming Harry and Meghan for daring to be modern and authentic, while Kate and William get applauded for dressing like porcelain dolls and perfecting body movements last relevant during the plague. Let's be honest, the monarchy's best chance at staying relevant isn't found in outdated gestures or photo-perfect poses, it's in bold action, real connection, and actually giving a toss about the people who foot the royal bill. So here's to Harry and Meghan, curtsy-free and crushing it. And to the rest, maybe stand up straight and do something useful for a change. At this point, if Kate Middleton does one more deeply meaningful curtsy, while the British public can't afford beans on toast, we might just need a national eye-roll emoji. Seriously, Kate and William have more resources than a Bond villain with a conscience. They've got palaces, staff, PR teams, custom Land Rovers, and probably a button in their drawing room labelled Summon Royal Event. And yet, the best use of all that privilege and taxpayer-funded pomp is a curtsy? No offence to the fine art of slightly bending one's knees in front of foreign dignitaries, but come on, we're in 2025. We've got families choosing between heating and eating, sky-high rents that make a shoebox in Croydon cost more than a villa in Tuscany, and taxes that feel like a subscription to misery. And what do the royals contribute? A glorified yoga pose in a designer dress? Kate and William, please, take a break from the jazz hands of monarchy and do something we can put in your CVs, you know, like the rest of us peasants with LinkedIn profiles and student loans. Because unless you're applying for the role of head of ceremonial bouncing, a curtsy doesn't quite count as work experience. Where's the bold action? Where's the policy pressure, the youth programs, the innovation hubs, the green housing initiatives? You've got the power and the platform to actually do something for the struggling people of Britain, but instead we get press releases about regal posture and close-ups of Kate blinking next to a flower arrangement. Groundbreaking. Meanwhile, Harry and Meghan, they said, forget the throne, we'll build a platform, scholarships, mental health support, advocacy for veterans, women, racial justice, actual CV-worthy, legacy-defining projects. Meghan's resume makes Buckingham Palace look like a Pinterest board of colonial cosplay. So here's a tip for Wills and Kate. Unless you're curtsying directly into a meeting about universal childcare, affordable housing or how to fix the NHS, maybe save the knee dips for your next TikTok trend. We've got problems. And the royal family performing interpretive dances of the 1800s ain't solving them. Now that's a royal performance worth retiring. Let's take a moment to give a standing ovation with zero curtsies to Meghan Sussex, the only woman in recent royal history who had the sheer nerve, dignity and modern common sense to say, you know what? I'm not going to bow and bob to people just because they live in a castle and wear matching tweed. Meanwhile, over at Windsor HQ, Kate is still out here practically doing royal yoga just to prove she's respectful enough to the senior Windsors, who, let's be honest, haven't exactly earned that level of reverence. She's giving deep lunges in ball gowns, three-point turns, and what looks like competitive curtsying, while the public is out here like, Kate, babes, we're trying to survive the cost of living crisis, not reenact season 1 of The Crown. It's almost tragic, how Kate seems locked in this never-ending game of how royal can I look today. While Meghan's over in California sipping tea that wasn't taxed by the monarchy and curtsy-free since 2020. You just know Meghan wakes up every morning, stretches, breathes in that freedom air and thinks, not today, Your Majesty, let's be real. The whole curtsy thing feels like a bizarre medieval ritual that somehow survived into the era of AI and oat milk. It's 2025. You can get a robot to do your taxes, but women in the royal family are still being judged on how low they bend for the Queen's second cousin. Something is seriously broken in that royal operating system. And the Windsors? They're still playing dress-up in outdated tradition, while the monarchy crumbles like a soggy biscuit in lukewarm tea. They've turned public service into performance art, smiling, waving, bobbing, but not actually doing anything meaningful. It's like the world's most expensive school play with the least convincing actors. But Meghan? She dipped once for the cameras, said, yeah, I'm good, and moonwalked out of that institution with her dignity intact and her spine upright. That's the kind of energy we need in 2025. Not this sad parade of deference to people who think a title is more important than character. So yes, thank heavens Meghan is free from all of that. And to Kate, girl, blink twice if you're tired. There are better ways to show strength than bending a knee to a family that still can't figure out how to apologise or evolve. Let's retire the curtsy and replace it with actual respect earned through action. Because in the modern world, respect isn't a pose, it's a purpose. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. It's your host, Tyler. Please share your thoughts in the comments section. Love you all. Goodbye.